Welcome to the Ceramic Tile Education Foundation online training program used in preparation for the Certified Tile Installer Hands-On Test. In this video program, key parts of the TCNA Handbook, ANSI specifications, and Certified Tile Installer Manual Chapter 10 will be emphasized. While watching these videos, we encourage you to use a yellow highlighter to mark these emphasized sections. After viewing each video, it may be helpful to review the highlighted portions of each book, which will help you broaden your understanding of the installation standards and methods. In this module, you will learn about tile installation on walls. At the end of this course, you should know general guidelines for wall substrate prior to tile installation, tile layout, best practices for tiling. Prior to the installation of tile on walls, the tile installer shall inspect the surface to determine that the walls meet ANSI A108.02, Section 4. It is extremely important that this section is followed, not only for the CTI test, but in daily tile installations as well. As the installer, it is your job to make sure the walls meet all requirements. These guidelines include the following requirements. 4.1. Installation work shall not proceed until satisfactory conditions are provided. 4.1.1. All surfaces shall be structurally sound, clean, dry, and free of oily or waxy films and all foreign matter. If installing on concrete, surface shall be free from oil, curing compound, and latents and cracks. 4.1.4.3.2. Vertical surfaces. For tiles with all edges shorter than 15 inches, the maximum allowable variation is not more than a 1/4 inch in 10 feet and no more than a 1/16 inch in 1 foot from the required plane when measured from the high points in the surface. For tile with at least one edge 15 inches or longer, the maximum allowable variation is not more than an 1/8 inch in 10 feet and no more than a 1/16 inch in 2 feet from the required plane when measured from the high points in the surface. Refer to the specifications to determine specific layouts such as starting point and cut sizes on a wall. And remember, per ANSI 108.02, Section 4.3.2, no cuts smaller than half of a tile shall be made. Once the starting point or starting wall has been determined, the wall should be centered from left to right to ensure the left end of the wall and the right end of the wall cuts are the same size. You must determine if the wall will be centered by the center of tile or the edge of the tile to ensure the cuts on the sides shall be no smaller than a half tile. Remember to allow for an 1/8 inch to a 1/4 inch expansion joint at inside corner of walls. A 1/4 inch expansion is recommended. However, expansion shall never be smaller than an 1/8 of an inch, as shown in TCNA EJ 171 joint width. For example, a wall measures 36 inches. The tile to be installed is a 6 by 6 inch tile with an 1/8 inch grout joint. The following calculation will need to be completed. Add the 6 inch tile plus the 1/8 inch grout joint. That equals 6 1/8 inch. This is the measurement to be used as the tile unit. Subtract the required 1/4 inch expansion joint from the 36 inch wall. The tileable wall measurement is now 35 3/4. Dividing 35 3/4 by 2, that equals 17 7/8. This is 1/2 of the wall and also the center line of the wall. Divide 17 7/8 by 6 1/8 inch, the tile unit, to figure the amount of full tile units, which is 2. 2 multiplied by 6 1/8 inch equals 12 1/4 inches, which is then subtracted from the 1/2 wall size of 17 7/8 inch. The difference is 5 5/8 of an inch. 5 5/8 inches is the cut size, which meets the ANSI required specification of no cuts smaller than a half size. However, if the cut size was 1 inch, which is less than half of a tile, add 1/2 of the tile unit size, 6 1/8 of an inch divided by 2, or 3 1/16 of an inch, to the 1-inch cut, which equals 4 1/16 of an inch. This would be the cut size on the left and the right. The wall must also be centered and balanced vertically to ensure that the top and bottom cuts are the same size. Measure the wall, subtracting for the thickness of the floor tile, setting material, and 1/4-inch expansion joint at the bottom of the wall. If a decorative border is included in the layout, its size must be considered in the layout to ensure the bottom and top cuts are equal size. The mathematical way to determine the cut size when a decorative border is specified is to find the difference in size between the tile and border. In this case, 6 inches minus 4 inches equals 2 inches. Then divide the difference by 2. The center line or start point vertically will be adjusted by this measurement. For example, a wall height measures 60 inches. Subtract the 1/4-inch expansion joint for the 60-inch wall. The tile area measurement is now 59 3/4 of an inch. Add the 1/8-inch grout joint to the 6-inch tile to determine the tile unit size. Divide 59 3/4 by 2 to find the center line of the wall, which will now be 29 7/8. Add the 1-inch accent difference from the previous cut tile example to the 29 7/8 inch. The new center line is now 30 7/8. Divide 30 7/8 by 6 1/8 to determine the number of full tile units, which will be 5. 5 multiplied by 6 1/8 equals 30 5/8, which is then subtracted from the half wall size of 30 7/8. The difference is 2/8 of an inch, or a 1/4 inch. This could be your cut size at the top and bottom, but a 1/4 inch is less than the half tile requirement. If the cut size was more than 1/2 tile, your layout would be finished at this point. Since in this example it's not, one more adjustment must be made. Add 1/2 size of the tile to the 1/4-inch cut tile to get the new top and bottom cut size, which would be 3 1/4 inches. The adjoining wall layout should line up with the starting wall, with all the same considerations. Remember to allow for the tile thickness of the adjoining wall when calculating center and balance of your new wall. For example, if wall A intersects with wall B at a 90-degree inside corner, with both walls being laid out at the same time, the layout will be correct. However, when the tile on wall A is installed first, the left and right cut tiles on wall B will not be equal. The left cut on wall B will be smaller than the right cut by the thickness of the tile installed on wall A. If surface bullnose is a part of the installation, be certain that the grout joints line up with the field tile. This is crucial at an outside corner where the tile will wrap horizontally around the corner and continue down the wall. This is especially important when the tile wraps around 2 outside corners or a bulkhead and continues down the opposite side of the wall. The surface bullnose will normally require the field tile cuts to be made at the edge of the wall. However, depending on the size of the required grout joint, it may require an adjustment at this field tile or bullnose joint. There is an additional place where good grout joint alignment is necessary when the tile goes up a wall, across the top of the wall and back down the opposite side. When these cuts have been made, they should be smoothed with a rub stone to provide a neat finish. Determine the proper trowel size and setting material to maximize the coverage and integrity of the tile job. For large and heavy tiles, use the trowel recommended by the LHT mortar manufacturer. For smaller tiles, a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch trowel may be a good place to start. But removing a tile is the only way to be certain that adequate mortar coverage is being achieved. Always refer to manufacturer's recommendation for proper trowel use and setting material requirements for the substrate and type of tile. Start tiling at the bottom of the wall by keying in or burning in the setting material into the substrate. Remember to allow room for thickness of the floor tile setting material, plus a 1/4 inch expansion joint. Spread the setting material so that the notches or ridges are all in one direction, parallel to the shortest side of the tile. Move the tile in a perpendicular direction to the ridges, causing them to collapse, which pushes out the otherwise trapped air, yielding maximum coverage. The NTCA Trowel and Air video shows this technique, providing improved mortar coverage. Do not spread the setting material too far ahead, as it can allow skinning or overglazing, which will not allow the tile to bond to the mortar. Be aware of the environment and room conditions, as skinning of the setting material can occur more quickly in areas that include high temperatures and low humidity conditions. Depending on the tile size, check your rows about every 1 to 2 feet with a level to ensure the tiles and grout joints remain straight. This is really important on your first course, as this will be the foundation of how level the tile will be as you tile further up the wall. Wedges can be used at this time to make minor adjustments to keep the tiles level and grout lines straight and equal throughout the installation. To ensure a good bond, tiles that are 6 inches or smaller may be beaten in with a beating block and rubber mallet. Larger tiles may need to be back buttered to ensure a good bond. However, back buttering normally does not increase mortar coverage. When wrapping the tile around the walls and at changes in plane, all grout joints should line up, both horizontally and vertically. In addition to this video, we strongly encourage you to thoroughly read and understand Chapter 10 in the CTI manual. We wish you well in your testing process.